Currently, there's a really bad future coming onto this historic clinic in Krefeld. This place is the only one enclave of that historic hospital feeding I know about. This place is now about to be demolished forever. As a lift filmer who captures old lifts before they were replaced, it is really important for me just to be able to do my job. No locked doors, no locked lifts, which could prevent me from doing that. I've managed to get a key. This day was mine. Here is a tour of the lifts at the historic buildings of the HELIOS-clinic in Krefeld. Historic means that we will skip all the boring modern stuff, which isn't really modern after all, it's just rather dull. And now to the first building, which is the amazing Building 1. Yes, this is surely a trip back into history, as this building doesn't exist any longer. It includes some amazing old Schindler lifts, and now to the first lift, which is a set of 3 really small Schindler lifts. These are extremely small, so they will take the same space as one large lift. That could mean that there used to be a large lift here. On my last visit, only the middle lift still was working. And now to the next lift, which are 2 large Schindler lifts. When the hospital was in use, these lifts here were extremely busy, and you sometimes have to wait for 5 minutes before the next lift would arrive, just to imagine that it continues into wrong direction. On my last visit, these lifts weren't working. And now to the really nice old Schindler transport lifts that used to be amazing locked off lifts. I've had a key for them. On my last visit, only the right lift still was working. We will skip the Mahler and Taunus lifts in operations as they are not interesting after all. These lifts still exist, but they've been changed as the floor altitude has been changed. And now let's go through what used to be the main entrance of a really nice, amazing old building too. This building also doesn't exist anymore. The building used to have a really nice lift lobby with 3 different lifts with swing doors. And now to the first lift, which is a small Schumacher lift. This amazing lift has been modernized and lastly used to have folding inner doors. On weekends in the late evening, the basement locked itself off. And now to the really amazing large staff-only lift, which probably used to be the best lift in the entire clinic. This lift used to have no inner doors, but an amazing motor sound. This lift is totally locked off. You need a key to call it and to unlock the floor buttons inside. Let's ride it! And now to the large lift beside it. This lift is of the same layout, but they modernized it and added strange inner doors. But this lift still has got its original motor sound. This lift used to have floor V locked off and the basement locked itself off in the evening and on weekends, just as a small lift used to do. And now to an old small Schumacher lift. This lift, I've already done it. It wasn't working, it's turned off and parked between floors. This lift used to have folding in the doors. And now to the next lift, which is also an amazing old Peters lift without inner doors. This lift was staff only and a key is needed to open the swing doors, same as to unlock the floor buttons inside. But for some strange reason, the call fixture was not locked off. That's rather strange. We will skip the new lift in the newer wing of this building as it wouldn't compare with this video's title of being historic, and this lift and this part of the building haven't been demolished. And now to building 4, which is a really nice classic children's clinic. This place is announced to get demolished. Old children's hospital buildings are much more than just buildings for me. Children get born at such places. They spend their first hospital visit on these places, so these buildings become part of a childhood, and later we often remember to these buildings. So every demolished old children's hospital is one too much and a really big shame. And now to the first lift. This lift used to be staff only in the past before they modernized it and sadly modded the motor. This lift has had its basement locked off. Let's ride it. And now to the next lift, which used to be a totally awesome old lift without inner doors, but they've probably modernized it with inner doors, a new motor, and now the third floor is locked off. I didn't have any key for this floor, but anyway, let's get in. And now to the wing which contains all those unrefurbished lifts. First to the passenger lift, which is a small one with a really odd sort of folding inner door. These are one of the few folding inner doors with character. These are really old and move rattly. And now to the bed-only lift on the right. This lift used to be a public one, but they've replaced the call fixture with a stupid lock, and all floor buttons in the lift are also locked off. This lift is really amazing. I've got a key for this. Let's ride it. And now to a similar bed-only lift at the other end of a corridor. This lift also goes down to the lower basement, which isn't served by the last big lift. This lift is also locked off and it needs a key on the call fixture and inside to unlock the floors. And now to building 5. This building is a landmark and demolition isn't allowed. But does it also protect old lifts from getting replaced? No, is what my experience from the past would let me answer. They currently modernize this building. At this moment, the lifts are still old. It's only a matter of time before they get replaced. And now to the main public lift in this building. When I've created this video, it's July 2012 and this lift still exists. That's really unusual in Germany and really good. As it is unusual, I really count down the days how long that lift would survive. End of 2012? Until middle 2013. I'm really looking forward on what should happen to it, especially as it hasn't got inner doors. This lift has got this bottom and top floor locked off. And now to the lift on the other end of the building, which has a better chance to survive as it includes inner doors and is modernized. But it also includes an old logic, while the logic of the other lift is a modern one. This lift has got a strange floor numbering. It just counts from 1 to 7. 1 is the lower basement, 2 is the basement, 3 is street level and 4 is ground floor. This lift is locked off on weekends. The floors 1, 2 and 7 are always locked off. Let's finish our tour at building 6, and the first lift is an ultra crap boring generic lift. There used to be an interesting lift, but that was a long time ago. I don't bother about including this lift into the tour. It isn't historic, it's just a piece of crap really. This building would survive until around 2015. And now onto something of more interest, the old lift. This lift has been horribly modernized and it got inner doors. This lift has got several floors being locked off. The locked floors often change. Only H and 5 would never be locked. And now finally to the similar lift on the other side. Similar? No, it's way better. It's original and has got no inner doors. This lift is locked off and you must use a key if you want to call it and to get anywhere, as all of the floors are locked.